Summary of The Way to Rainy Mountain by N. Scott Momaday. In The Way to Rainy Mountain, the author writes a memoir in an unconventional manner. It's a history of the Kiowa people, a love letter to the plains, a collection of memories of N. Scott Momaday's family and tribe, and an attempt to combine different types of historical information in a new way of writing history. For that reason, the book doesn't follow a typical structure or story arc. There are 3 parts to the book: the setting out, the going on, and the closing in. These parts roughly follow the main plot of Kiowa history. The Kiowas move from western Montana to the southern plains. They take control of the southern plains and have a golden age, and then the U.S. military defeats them and their culture slowly dies out. Even though each section doesn't just tell a story about one of these time periods, the stories and memories told in each section are related to the time period of Kiowa history that part is loosely about. In the first part, Momaday tells the Kiowa creation story about how the tribe came into being from a hollow log. He then puts the story in its proper place by talking about how bad life was for the Kiowa before they moved to the southern plains. In the middle part, which is based on the historical Kiowa Golden Age, Momaday tells tribal stories about strong and smart Kiowas who beat their enemies. He also talks about the beauty of the scenery and Kiowa religion and culture in more detail. The third part is the darkest because it shows how the Kiowas lost, the buffalo go extinct, and the Kiowa, who are under attack, fight to keep their religion and culture alive. Each of the book's main parts is further broken down into numbered chapters, which are then broken down into sections told in 3 different voices: the voice of tribal legend, the voice of historical comments, and the voice of Momaday's own memory. Because these different voices switch between them, stories that go through several chapters are broken up by comments from other voices. There are times when the commentary is directly related, like when the story of the woman digging up a forbidden root is broken up by historical commentary on the plant that the story is about. Other times, the commentary is only related by association, like when the story of the giants in the cave is linked to a meditation on the power of language. The book's complicated structure is meant to make a point about how people think about the past. Momaday thinks that the past should not be split into scholarly history, memory, family stories, and tribal myths. Instead, the past should be seen as a mix of all of these ways of thinking. This book tries to be both a new kind of history writing and a way to pass on Kiowa culture by writing down stories that have only been told orally by the Kiowa people.
About the author. N. Scott Momaday was one of the most productive American Indian writers of the 20th century. He grew up in the Southwest on a number of Indian reservations. Growing up, he lived with his grandparents on the Kiowa reservation. Later, he went to Arizona with his parents, who were teachers on Indian reservations. In this way, Momaday learned about the beliefs of the Kiowa people he was related to as well as those of other groups, like the Apache, Pueblo, and Navajo. Momaday first studied political science at the University of New Mexico, but he soon became interested in writing and went on to get a PhD in English literature from the University of California at Santa Barbara. In addition to writing academically, Momaday also wrote fiction. His first book, Housemaid of Dawn, won the Pulitzer Prize in 1969. Momaday has been a professor in writing in many different types of styles since then. He is a skilled poet, novelist, memoirist, and essayist.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.